Alright, welcome back. In this video, congressional elections. Let's do it. Alright, so if you watched the last video, there's a lot of repeat information here from the last one, so that's good news for you. So last one's about presidential elections, this one's about congressional elections. Similarly, we're going to start off with incumbency advantage. So there is the fact that the incumbent, the person currently holding office, typically wins congressional elections to the tune of about 90% of the time. So we are talking about a very strong incumbency advantage that exists in Congress. It is strongest in the House of Representatives. It still exists, but is a little bit weaker in the Senate. And again, remember that there's not a two-term limit for congressmen like there is for presidents. So this advantage can last a long time and it can build. So why exactly do people keep voting for the same members of Congress, even though Congress has a pretty low approval rating? Well, there's a number of reasons for this. So one is that the incumbent has better name recognition and media visibility. People know who they are. They have, again, experience campaigning. They typically have larger staffs. They also have fundraising advantages. Most of the money raised by PACs or political action committees typically goes to incumbents, regardless of whether they're Democrat or Republican. Those interest groups, they want to make sure that their money is being spent on the winner. And since the incumbent wins about 90% of the time, they typically spend their money helping incumbents. Additionally, redistricting often is done in a way to help the incumbents to stay in power. So the districts are often gerrymandered. We have many safe districts throughout the country where they don't face much in the way of competition. There's also the franking privilege. This is the idea that congressmen can send mail at no cost. So they can send out mailers to people reminding them of the things that they have accomplished while they have been the representative or the senator in that state. So that's an advantage. And lastly, they can provide casework. Casework refers to constituent service. It means things that they have done to help the people in their district. So this could be things like if you want to go to Washington, D.C. and you want to visit the Capitol building, you need something from your member of the House of Representatives. Now, he or she doesn't actually do it for you. Their staff handles it, but again, that helps you. Perhaps you are a veteran and there is some kind of problem with your veterans benefits, or you're an old person and you're receiving Social Security, or you're a young person and you're looking for financial aid that you have problems obtaining, and you can contact your member of Congress and that person's staff can help you to solve those problems. This is referred to as casework. And when they have helped you to solve those problems, that makes it more likely that that person will vote for them because they remember, hey, that person was there, they helped me when I needed help, I'm going to vote for them. That's something that a challenger can't do because they aren't in office, so they don't have those resources. Just like with presidential elections, congressmen also have primaries, and again, there are both open and closed primaries. Remember that primaries are elections in which a party chooses who their candidate will be for the general election. If it's a closed primary state, then you have to be a registered member of the party to participate. If it's an open primary, then any registered voter is allowed to participate. Then we get to the general election. Again, this is the election where if you win, you actually take office and become the senator or the representative for that state or that district. But there is a difference here. Whereas there is a presidential election once every 4 years, there are congressional elections every 2 years. So sometimes they coincide with the presidential election, though they're on the same day. Sometimes they don't. And when they don't, that's known as a midterm election. It takes place in the middle of the president's term. Voter turnout in midterm elections is much lower. The people who vote are more likely to be very partisan, very ideological, the ones who are more strongly conservative or more strongly liberal. So this affects who gets into Congress in the first place because the ideological voters, they vote in the primaries and they vote in the midterm elections. Whereas the more average voter, they vote only in the presidential election once every 4 years. So this too can matter and influence how a particular person does in an election. The midterm elections, last thing by the way, usually the president's party does worse in the midterm elections. They usually lose seats in Congress, whether it's the House or the Senate, and sometimes both. So the idea is that oftentimes the people who oppose the president are the ones who are more excited about the election, and so they come out and have higher voter turnout. So typically, the president's party does worse in midterm elections. Alright, so that's it for this video. Till next time, this has been a La Money production. Alright, thanks again for watching this video. Hope that it helped. Make sure you subscribe, hit that like button for me. Please, again, help me to spread these videos to other AP Gov students just like you. See you guys next time.